Hey, there we go. Hey, what's up? Man, I don't like this new look on my end. It's reversed. I'm looking everything's opposite on my screen. I don't like it. Is there a way to Cuz what happens if I show a card on my screen it's like backward. It's like, in reverse. It's like looking at a rear view mirror. I don't like that. Can I do this? No, camera. Mirror my camera. There we go. There we go. Much better. Much better. Perfect. Got it. All right. What's up? Happy Thursday, right? Thursday? Welcome. I am happy now. Yes, I am happy now. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1633. Good morning. Did a little eBay live last night. Boy, did it suck for the first 2 hours. Oof, brutal. Last hour made up for it again. That was very similar to Tuesday night. First hour was brutal. Second hour got a little better. Third hour was bonkers. So it's just kind of weird. I ended up doing probably better than actually, and I say it sucked last night, and I did almost twice as much as what I had hoped to do. So that's a good thing. But that first hour, man, I couldn't. And what's frustrating is there's 30 people in the room, but it's like, what do those 30 people want? And trying to figure it out, because some people don't like to share what they're buying, because there are a-holes out there that want to bid up. They're like, oh, fuck this guy. He wants Ted Williams. I'm gonna fuck him and make him pay more. There are people like that out there. Don't do that. That's being a dick. So I understand there's a lot of people out there that don't want to reveal what they're want to bid on. And trying to figure it out is difficult. And then you kind of get ideas. Okay, vintage, slabs, football, baseball, basketball, 80s, 90s, modern. What do you find? And nothing was working last night in the first hour. I'm running modern football because that's modern football, modern baseball is what I have a glut of right now. I really need to take some time to find my 80s stuff, because I bought a ton of 80s stuff over the summer. A lot of it got just pushed aside. So now I got to go find it. Somebody had mentioned Sunflower, I think mentioned maybe run some 90s basketball. So I got to a point where I'm like, all right, guys, I've got to go to the other room and find more different stuff, because what I had wasn't working. So I just left the room for a minute, and I found a stack of top-loaded 90s basketball that was just randomly on a counter. So I'm like, okay, I'll try this. And same, dollar. Now, fortunately, I was doing sudden death, which I think I like doing sudden. With the exception of higher end items and slabs, I think sudden death is I think that's just the way I'm going to go, because when I do 10-second extended auctions on everything, I run 200, and I mean, sometimes it's 4.5 hours. Last night I ran 226. I think I ran 226 auctions, and it was 3 hours flat. So, and there was some extended bidding in there, because I did run quite a few slabs. The Tom Brady actually did well in saving that till 8:30. If I would have waited till 9, I think it would have went a little higher. Comps on it 150. I paid 100. I might have paid even a little less. I probably that guy probably gave me a discount. Sticker price was 100. Maybe I paid 90 for it. Let's just call it 100. It sold for 130, which is, I make a little bit of money. I make, minus fees and shipping, I make a few bucks. Comps are at 150. So the guy who bought it, this is the perfect scenario. So this is why it's important to buy low. That's why you make your money on the buying side. If you you can't expect to pay for comps and sell it for above comps. Like that's not a good strategy. It works sometimes on live. Like I can buy stuff at comps and be like, yeah, I can probably move that for above comps. That's why I was talking to my buddy Jackson on Saturday at the show, and it's like, some stuff I can buy it. It's like, what do you buy at? Do you buy at 80%, 70%? What do you buy at? It's like, I don't, I can't. Like some stuff I can pay 120%. Some stuff I can pay 40%. Like it just depends what it is. Like I can't pay a set amount because I'll lose my ass. If I just buy a whole bunch of stuff at 80%, I'll lose my ass. So, so I brought out the 90s basketball dollar. I think the Penny Hardaway might have been like through the first hour and a half. A Penny Hardaway rookie might have been, I don't even know if it was a rookie, might have been my highest seller at like $3 or $4. So it was tough. 8 o'clock hour gets better. And then the 9 o'clock hour is kind of that's the golden hour. And then it's like the 10 o'clock hour, there's a little bit of overflow into the 10 o'clock hour, but then by 10:30, it's like everybody turns into a pumpkin and we're back to, we're kind of sliding. Now on the weekends, it's a little different. Weekends, it's like the later, it's like buyers are lubed up, like, let's spend all our money. So ended up doing well. And my year to date, I'm still climbing. I'm still growing. It's been a little slower in terms of my percentage growth year over year, but I'm still up 272% going into today. I'll take the next couple days off. That's my plan. If I get some stuff done, I really got to focus on Madison Card Show stuff because it's coming up next week. I can't believe a week from today is Thanksgiving. That's insane to me. This month has flown by. So Madison Card Show weekend, I need to get some, I really need to focus on, because I've actually got a lot of balls in the air right now with the 2 shows next weekend. I'm heading to Chicago. I want to get some other events set up. I want to do the 74 basketball set break. I intend on doing that potentially Wednesday night. Yes, I know that's the night before Thanksgiving. It's kind of a gamble. We'll see how it goes. I find it's a weekend. I think that could be a crazy night. So we'll see how it goes. But is it going to be crazy for 1974 Topps basketball? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Try it out. I want to do a Black Friday event. I've got the Gretzky rookie and the Jackie that I'm still debating on when's the best time to run those. And I think now, in the next 3 weeks, is the best time at this point, outside of Jackie Robinson Day in April for the Jackie. So I'm still kind of, and I've got to figure that out fast. I need to get them listed in my eBay store as a buy it now, just so there's eyeballs on those cards, and then transition them to auction. So that was yesterday. I think I shipped all day, got down to 0. It's crazy how many times I get myself to 0 orders to ship. And it kind of feels nice. When you're 5Xing what you did previously on the volume sales, or on sales, not on volume. I'm not 5Xing my volume, 5Xing my sales dollars. Did shipping, and I wanted to just take, I shipped literally all day, and it's like, okay, I got an hour. We did sushi last night, carry out, had some sushi, and went on live, and it was nice. I did add 3 auctions at the end because I was taking requests. I'm like, here's the slabs I have. What do you want? And I had 3 or 4 requests. Like, okay, well, let's just run them all. Because I had to add, I think I miscalculated. I had 2 auctions. I said 3. So I'm like, well, I got to add another auction. It's like, I might as well add a few more auctions. So I added a few more auctions at the end. And I was still done by 10, which was nice. And I can, take an hour to just kind of lay on the couch, unwind, and then go to bed. So what am I buying this weekend? So it's everything. I'm buying everything, but not bulk. Well, you never know. I say that, I may come home with a truckload. But I want to talk about what I'm buying this weekend in Chicago at the Sports Spectacular. I'm looking forward to it, just to get out of town, get out of the basement for a couple days, buy some cards. So it's going to be, should be a good time. And I'll be on, link in the description, Saturday night, eBay Live, probably 7 or 7:30. I think I've got a time set up. That may change. What do I got it set up? Bringing the heat, 7:30. So depending on what time I get back, all that stuff, I may push it up to 7. 7 o'clock hour is tough though. Like I've started moving my Sunday shows back later because it's just that first hour is just that 7 o'clock hour is brutal. Like it's almost like throwing like quarter cards up there. Like last night, I could have thrown a 10-cent card. It would have sold for $1. I could have ran a $10 card. It would have sold for $1. Like everything sold for $1. And I think there were a few cards that didn't get a bid, and they were like an Aaron Judge didn't get a bid, and like a Michael Penix Jr. rookie card didn't get a bid. It's like, that's for $1. And like other similar stuff was getting bids. I don't know. Sometimes you can't explain it. Peter, what's going on? Good morning. Gem City's in the house. Good morning. Is procrastination a hobby-specific trait or just ADD, folks? Oh man, it's probably there's probably a lot of similarities between procrastination, the hobby, and ADD. Peter says there's got to be some mirror setting in the setting. There is, and now I'm happy. I found it. Royals 417. What's going on? Good morning. Gundy's in the house. Good morning. Cooter is here. What's happening? Boston Smokes in the house. Jody, good morning. Tigers, what's going on? Orlando is here. He says, Cooter, that was an awesome Roger Maris autographed card you sent to Baseball Collector. Gem City says, sorry, I missed the live. I love some 90s basketball. I had some good stuff. I mean, not great stuff. I had good stuff, not great stuff. Fun stuff. For me, fun stuff. Speaking of 90s basketball, I bought 50 slabs. I bought 50 slabs from eBay, from an eBay seller, and they arrived a couple days ago. And I talked about this yesterday. My average price was $18 a slab, and I'm just going to use the $18 mark because some were like some were as low as like 10. A lot of them were like in the 15, 16 range. Overall average price was $18. So we're going to use that price. A lot of them sold, a few of them that I ran last night, a few of them sold for like $15. It's like, okay, loss. But then like I ran an Allen Iverson rookie. It sold for $70. The Michael Jordan ended up doing, I sold a Jordan 92 Ultra PSA 7. I think that did like 50 plus. I think my Bradshaw went high also. Here we go. Oh, that reminds me. All right. So the Bradshaw sold for 30. The Jordan the Iverson sold for 56. The Jordan sold for 40. I had a Duncan rookie and a Rasheed Wallace, and those did. Again, these $18 per slab. The Duncan did 26, and the Rasheed Wallace. Actually, the Rasheed Wallace came from Mark. So did the Duncan. Mark sent those to me. He's like, they're not going to sell. And I'm like, oh, I'll sell them. And I think they average like $20 a slab on the ones that he just sent me. So the Duncan and Rasheed were from Mark. So that was a nice little finish at the end last night. NYC Life, good morning. I noticed eBay sales haven't been great. Slower, less than last year. Some days are good, but other days are dead. Like one day I sell 5 cards, the other I sell 20, and I have 700 listed right now. That's probably about I would say 5 cards, or I would say 5 cards should be if you have 700 listed, 5 per day is a good number. 20 is 20 is an outlier. If you sell 20 cards, if you only have 700 cards listed and you sell 20, that's a great day. Like that's well above average. 5 to 10 is probably that number you need to be at. Now, of course, if you have PSA 10 Patrick Mahomes for $20, you should sell those in a day. But if you just have regular inventory, there's a lot of it, price is competitive, your 5 to 10 sales per day on 700 listings is right where you need to be. And 20 is great. 20 out of 700 is great. Cody's in the house. Good morning. Cooter, what's going on? Cooter says, thank you, Orlando. I sent Maris. I sent Maris a letter when he returned to Yankee Stadium when they honored him in Monument Park. He signed several items for me and my brother. Very cool. Peter says 5Xing your sales dollars is better than 5Xing your waistline. It is indeed. Orlando says that's so cool to Cooter. Max says headed down to Madison by 2-3. Chicago tomorrow morning, in and out by 1. Wow, that's efficient. That's efficient. I'm going to leave Madison around 10 tomorrow morning. So I'll get there around noon. Well, actually, I'll probably leave 10:30. I'll probably leave about 10:30. Get there at 12:30, and then get in there for the VIP and spend the entire day. Go have a late dinner. Go do it again, and probably I don't know. It depends what I buy on Friday, how much I spend, what I buy. I don't have a budget. I just have, okay, I need enough stuff. Now, I also have the Madison Card Show next weekend that I can buy inventory. I'd like to get more than a week's worth of inventory, though, since it is a bigger show with dealers that I don't see. And there's probably going to be some, I'm probably going to hopefully have some opportunities for, bigger buys. So I'd like to get a couple weeks worth of inventory. And then what I get next week is just kind of gravy in Madison. So yeah, let's see where we at. Dat Dude says those cards, Gretzky and Jackie may sell at buy it now prices, and you don't have to run them on live. So I agree with you. However, I'm willing to take less money on eBay Live for a couple different reasons. Number one, I'm selling predominantly on eBay Live. I want people on eBay Live. I need people to come to my eBay Live because I don't list on Buy It Now for the most part. However, I want people to see basically what I want to do for the Gretzky and Jackie and things of that nature is have them as a Buy It Now to drive people in so I can say this will be available on eBay Live on December 10th at 7 p.m., whatever it might be. That way people can see that, eBay Live, they can, do all that. That's ideal. Now, they are going to be overpriced. They're going to be above comps and above what I paid, certainly, in my eBay store as a Buy It Now. And if they sell it that, great. But I'm not going to list them at comps and want to and sell them at comps because it's not worth it to me to do that, where it's more of a marketing. If I lose money, I paid what, $650 for the Gretzky, I think. If I lose money on that, if I sell it for $500, might be a little disappointing. I think the last one sold same grade, same BVG 2.5, sold for I think $850. I hope to get $650. Like $650 in my eyes is a great deal for somebody based on the previous sale. But if it hits, I think 500 would be a disappointment. 600 would be, it's like, I wish it would have went for more, but I'm okay with it. Cause that's only taking, a little bit of a loss. And And then I think anything 700 and above, I'd be happy with. 7 on live. I wouldn't be happy with that on, I'll probably list it for like 950 or 1,000, probably 1,000. Even though the last sale was 850, just to drive some ice. I don't want to list it crazy like 20,000. Then people think I'm crazy. Don't even want to click it. But if they click it, so you got to set that price at, something where it's like, okay, that's a reasonable price. So that's the plan. Cooter says, I was a big TTMer in the early 80s before you had to send a check. Back then, many of the guys were happy to just be thought of. Gem City, and then eBay came along and ruined that for the collectors. Gem City says, I'm working on dealer badges for my next show. To save cost, I bought Passport vinyl lanyard sleeves for 4x6 photos, 14-cent prints from Walmart, and a corded lanyard. Boom, less than $1 each. Very nice. I think I have mine professionally printed, and I think mine were 50 cents. Now, I had to pay for the lanyards. So actually that probably bumped. What did I pay for the lanyards? I don't know. So I was probably I probably paid $1 a lanyard. What did I pay? Maybe it was 50 cents. I want to see my orders. My wife, oh my God. My wife orders. What's my wife ordered? She ordered 2 planter pots. They ended up being 3 different planter pots. They all ended up being too small for our porch. So those have been returned. Christmas plates. My Jewish wife is really getting into this Christmas thing this year. She ordered Christmas plates. She ordered a Christmas tree, a wreath. Naughty Nice, I tried. I don't know what that is. Thick cardstock. Oh, that's just for work. Poop bags. That's for Ernie. What else? Dab and Seal envelope moisturizer. Oh, and these are mine. Here we go. Okay, so lanyards. What did I pay? Oh, they were cheap. 100 pack was $32. So 32 cents a lanyard. So I'm in for 82. So my dealer badge is professionally printed with lanyards, 82 cents. Which is much better than the heavy stock. They were, what did I pay for those? I paid $1 per badge, and they had dates on them. So I did use them a second time. It's like, I can't use June 21st. The rest they're in December. All right, where are we at? That dude says, Gem City, can you try to get a sponsor for the badge holders? If you charge extra for premium spaces, maybe you roll in a sponsorship deal. A promotional company can get them done quickly. I've thought about doing that for my badges. Max says, bulk pickup by 10, in and out in 3 hours. Ray from Philly's in the house. What's going on? Max says, no time to dick around. Got to be back by 4 or 5 for hockey and point. Thankful for 80 plus on the interstate. Hell yeah. I set my cruise to, what do I set my cruise? 83. Set my cruise to 83 on the interstate. And then once I hit Elgin, then I take the cruise off, because then it's the freaking Autobahn. If you're going, it's funny. You set it to 83, and when you're on 90, it's 90, I think. When you're on 90 coming out of Rockford, you got your cruise on 83, and you are whipping by. You're whipping by all the rural drivers on the interstate. Get out of my way. Once you hit Elgin, you're that rural driver doing 83, and everybody else is doing 95. Let's see. Gem City says, you telling me Walmart isn't professional? Cooter says, have you ordered your shipping koozies yet? My shipping koozies? I've looked into I need to find I need to get a relationship with a local print place. because I've looked into like, I don't know, like online, because I've looked into koozie pricing before. And it just, I don't know, but I should. My problem is like, what do I want on the koozie? Like I design, like that's what holds me up on a lot of stuff is like, because I'm not a very good graphic designer. Not at all. It's like, can you make something for me? Let's see. Where we at? Cooter says she helped clean up your card room. She can order whatever she goddamn wants. True to that. Gem City says, that dude from Duryea, that's a good idea. I'm working on a lot of things at the moment, but wanted to see it in action first. Cooter is happily married based on that comment alone. Max, safe travels. Don't get stuck in a speed trap near Gurney like cousin Eddie, right? Max doesn't go anywhere near Gurney. Which I've talked about this in the past, and we can bring it up again because it is Christmas vacation season. Cousin Eddie coming from Gurney makes no sense because he was coming from Kansas. He should have been coming in on 80 or 88. But coming down through Gurney makes no sense unless he like went to Milwaukee. Like even if he was coming from Minneapolis, it makes no sense to go to Gurney. Because where do the Griswolds live? Like I know they're in Chicago, but I don't know what part of the city they're in. But Gurney makes no sense. If they're coming from, because they were from Kansas. Cousin Eddie's from Kansas, right? Should be coming in on 80. Or maybe 88. Cooter says 27 years and counting. Gem City says exactly. Either did cousin Eddie. Bo loves to rant about that line. Dat dude from Duryea says, I understand. I think you could use the sponsorship to bring some cash to the bottom line. Always looking for a revenue stream. Gundy says AI can design anything for you. I need to find what's a good AI that's not ChatGPT that can like not fuck up your designs and make it look like AI. Like I would like something designed by AI that doesn't look like AI. How about just hire somebody that knows how to use Photoshop or something? Copilot, is that an AI? Like my my thumbnail today, AI, and it looks like AI. Fiverr. I've used Fiverr before. What did I use Fiverr for? I use Fiverr to keep me regular. I use Fiverr to do the dirty work. Cooter says a flat koozie holds 20 banded cards nicely and provides protection in shipping. Put a QR code to your eBay lives. You want a koozie? Win 20 auctions. Gem City says, see, I got him going again. Cousin Eddie, Gurney. Genius, Cooter. Maybe Eddie was in northern Wisconsin visiting their kid at the carnival. That could be. It could be. I'm curious. I really want to know why were they going through Gurney? And I think I think it was just, it sounded good. Because there's no other G. Like, what's another G? I'm afraid to open another tab on my computer. What's another G? Near Chicago. Because Joliet's not G. It's got to be a G sound town. And it's got to be, like, recognizable, like Gurney. Where the fuck is my map at? There we go. G. All right. So if it makes so realistically, he's coming from gas run out in Gurney. What's on 80? See G Geneseo, but that's a G. It's a J. You need a G. Joliet. All right. If he's coming up on 55 from 80, where'd 55 go? Yeah. There's not another. It's just got to annoy people like me that think too hard about this stuff. Because I don't think he was. Now, no, it still wouldn't make sense if you'd still be coming up from, I don't know. Dairyland Picker, see you tomorrow. Yes. Copilot, Fiverr. Real people are better than AI, even though real people suck. That's true. AI design, you need to give very specific details. Gundy says Copilot. Cosign on Copilot. Graphic design software. Then I would have to do that. I don't want to do that. Geneva doesn't make sense because Geneva is also up north. Koozies are pointless. Drink faster. I love koozies. Michael Renicky, good morning. I've got a huge koozie collection. Geneva just doesn't make sense. How about Riley Martin made the 40 man. Was stoked to see that. Chris says maybe John Hughes had a personal connection. He did, because John Hughes was like the North Shore. Like John Hughes was from the North Shore. Like a lot of his movies use references from around Skokie, that area. Dairyland Picker says gas was cheapest in Gurnee. It's right on the border. Max says I was right about Shota. Thank you very much. So here's my thought process behind Shota accepting that qualifying offer. So he made what was the qualifying offer? 22 mil, I think. Here's my thought process. Initially, I thought there's no way Shota is going to accept the qualifying offer because we're going into a lockout. And it's the shades. Players want a contract. Like they don't want to be left hanging going into 2027 without a contract. So I'm like, there's not going to be too many, what player wants to sign a 1-year deal? Teams want to sign 1-year deals, but our players going to want to sign. No, we want to get through that 2027 season with a contract. So that's why I didn't think Shota would accept the qualifying offer. But then I thought about once it happened, it's like, okay, it makes sense because he wasn't going to make $22 million on any other contract. He makes $22 million in a year, and guess what? There's a lockout. He goes back to Japan. He can still make money and play baseball. So that's my thought process after it happens, is that he's got a backup plan. Like he's only under contract for the year. Baseball goes into a lockout. He goes to Japan, makes money in Japan. So that's my thought process on why it happened. And so it makes more sense in that regard. It makes sense to me. ET, what's going on? Morning. Haven't been on it a bit. Been at Disney World the last week. And no, the wife wouldn't let me leave to go find a card store. That's a bummer. Gem City says, everyone, here's your reminder to watch Dutch to celebrate Thanksgiving the John Hughes way. Ah, yes, Dutch. That's the Al Bundy movie, right? Orlando says, real people spent $1 million to design the new Cracker Barrel logo. AI generated would have been better and no cost, right? Carrie says, my old high school, Niles East, was featured in Risky Business and 16 Candles. Yeah, John Hughes's footprint is all over his old stomping grounds. Gem City says, Orlando is on fire with that comment. Yes, Al Bundy, a.k.a. Ed O'Neill. So that's what I had for today. So, what am I buying this weekend? Everything. So I'll be in Chicago, heading down tomorrow. I'm going to go in for the VIP at 1. What in the hell is that? I thought it was the shades, but it's not. I don't know what that noise is. Anyway, So I will be going down. And I don't know what my first, like, do I hit bargain boxes? I don't want to hit bargain boxes because I want to hit like slab box. I don't know. I'm probably just going to walk around. I'm going to wander around. I need to focus on higher end items. Like I want to focus on $20 to $100 items. Like that's my intent. And basically I kind of want to use Friday as that. Like I want to find bulk $20 and up, 20 to 100 type inventory. Doesn't have to be slabbed. In fact, depending on what it is, I'd prefer it not to be slabbed. So that's kind of, and I'm looking for everything. I'm looking for three things. Like if I had like a rankings, vintage, hockey, and soccer. Vintage is at the top, then hockey and soccer. But it's got to be like certain players. Wrestling, because I'm getting ready for wrestling night next Saturday. And it stopped. I don't know what that was. Packs, like unopened, sealed wax is kind of bargain boxes and sealed wax. That's probably what I'm going to save for Saturday. Like I'm going to go in hard Friday, picking up those $20 to $100 wrestling, hockey, soccer, vintage, that stuff that I really don't have much of. That's my goal for Friday. Really, first thing, go in for that stuff. Then by the end of the night, then I'm looking for maybe sealed wax where I don't have to spend hours digging through boxes. And then Saturday, if I've, depending, I do want to hit like dollar boxes or really even like maybe $5 boxes, depending on what's there. If they're actually bargain boxes or they're just, dollar cards in a mag touch priced at $5 and $10. So that's kind of what my intentions are for this weekend. I may end up saying, longer on Saturday than I anticipate. Right now it's like 2 o'clock probably, which is still pretty, is still quite a bit of the day, but I think doors open, I don't know, 9 o'clock. I can't remember. 10 o'clock, I think. 10 o'clock. All right. Ghosts must be. That dude says, listen to the Hall of Fame discussion last night, trying to figure out what the parameters are. WAR, awards, stats, for Hall of Fame discussion. WAR, awards, stats, all of the above. On Hall of Fame discussion, I think it's all of the above. I think stats and WAR kind of go together. WAR is just, I'm not putting, like, I wouldn't vote guys in the Hall of Fame simply based on the WAR number, but it's a good gauge. And I think everything is a good gauge. There are certain stats like batting average, like career batting average. If a career batting average is 220, but the guy hits 600 home runs, like you kind of throw average out of the way. If a guy hits a career 3, what's the record? I don't know. If he's like a 360 hitter over his career, but he only hit X amount of home runs, but he had a bunch of stolen bases and a bunch of everything else. So it's not like the Hall of Fame, like there's not like parameters. It's like set black and white set parameters. WAR is a good gauge to compare players. Awards is a nice touch. When I'm looking at like, do I think a guy is a Hall of Famer? Usually I'm looking at WAR first. It's like, okay, because WAR is based on stats. So if a guy has a career WAR of 20, he doesn't have Hall of Fame stats. That's just because WAR is based on stats. So you're looking, it's like, okay, he's got a 20 WAR. He's not even in consideration because I know he doesn't have the stats to back it up for a Hall of Fame discussion. So that's like, okay, you're not even in the conversation, but if he's got 60 WAR, okay, now we're talking. Now let's look at the stats and let's look at the awards. So I look, here's how I kind of look at it based on, and I have obviously no vote for the Hall of Fame, but when I like to talk about it, I'm looking at WAR because I know, like, oh, Joe Carter, he's got a 19 career WAR. Okay, he shouldn't even be in the debate, shouldn't even be in the discussion. Moving on, Fred McGriff. Okay, Fred McGriff, he's got a high WAR. Let's look at his numbers. And then you look at awards. All-star appearances mean nothing to me. That's just, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have, 10-time All-Star, but it's like, All-Stars, it's popularity contest among fans. So then I'm looking at, silver sluggers, gold gloves, the important stuff, MVPs. Tiger727 says Ed O'Neill played for the Steelers. Gem City says, as an O'Shea brother, he played for them boys in Dallas. Mark is in the house. Mark, I moved some slabs. I moved some WCG slabs last night. So Mark, Rasheed Wallace, what did he sell for? Rasheed Wallace sold for you're not going to believe this. This Rasheed Wallace sold for $25 last night. He sold just under Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan sold for 26. Let's see what else sold last night. Musina. I think Musina sold for around 25. Oh, what did the Jeter sold? This sold for, I think, like 40. So I think those were the 4 I sold. I told you, man. Like, I didn't move, so I still have the Johnny Damon. I still have the Yao Ming. Because I think over the weekend, and I think I texted you this, the Yao Ming will sell for 50 in the right room. The Eddie Murray blank back is something that I'll probably advertise because it's a very, in my streams, since it's an O-Pee-Chee blank back, which I think there's buyers out there that are not live buyers. So I think that's something. Same with the wrong back Cal Ripken. Like it's unique. I'm going to keep the Mark Pryor for my own collection. Marshall Falk. That'll probably be like a $15. The Matsui, probably 15. I honestly don't. The Bowman wrong back Cal Ripken and the blank back Eddie Murray, I honestly don't know what those would go for. I do think Yao Ming could go for 50. The Johnny Damon probably sells for 10 to 15. But eBay Live is a beast. So I'll hook you up tomorrow. And I want to buy. I was talking about what I'm buying. So tomorrow, my goal for Friday at the Chicago Sports Spectacular is $20 to $100. So Mark, if you have any of this inventory, because I am looking for vintage. Vintage is at the top of my buy list. I'm looking for vintage names. And I guess I should when I'm saying what am I buying, because 20 to 100, I don't want to buy a Taysom Hill gold prism for $100. But I'm looking to buy like Hall of Fame names, vintage wrestling, hockey, soccer. In the 20 to 100, doesn't have to be graded, could be raw. So I'm looking for $20 to $100 cards and of bigger names. So that's kind of what my goal for Friday is. So that's kind of what I'm tackling first is looking in for those $20 to $100 items. And then Saturday, I'll use Saturday for anything sealed wax, like old junk wax, maybe slab, bargain slabs, the cheaper stuff, bargain boxes, stuff of that nature. eBay Live is insane. Let's see. Gem City says it's worth about $150 in that slab. This is insane. Gold gloves don't mean much. Mattingly won 9 gold gloves and had a minus .01 fielding WAR. That's a good point. That's a good point. Ian Happ won a gold glove this year, and his defensive metrics were not good this year. So that's a good point that Gundy brings up. Dat Dude says just sold a Gooden A good and glossy all-star rookie with a wrong back. Got 2 more. Mark says, like a couple low-grade raw Lou Brock rookies. I would buy one. I will definitely buy one. I do want, so, and I want to buy, I don't want to go in, like, I'm not looking, unless I get a steal of a deal on stuff. I don't want to buy, like, I don't want to go buy 100 Michael Jordans unless I'm getting them for like 50 cents a pop. Then then that's easy. But I don't want to buy like multiples of certain things. Oh, Ernie's being naughty, I hear. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So I'll be in Chicago. I don't think I'm going to go live tomorrow morning because I am going to leave. I want to take Ernie to daycare around 10 o'clock and then be on the road by 10:30. So we'll see. Although I am, I'm not going live tonight. Although maybe I will. I mean, go live from the show. The only issue is internet connection. Jim City says, anyone have luck selling Allen Iverson cards? He has a nice docu-series on Prime. Dude, you may not have, I don't know if you were in here when I talked about it, but Iverson is selling like crazy for me. In fact, I mentioned it earlier. I paid, so this sold for, what did this sell for? $56 last night. Allen Iverson, 96 Skybox Z-Force PSA 8 rookie. This sold for $56, and I paid. Now I bought that in. I bought 50 slabs total for an average price of $18, and I probably paid less than $18 for that Iverson. I'm gonna go to my purchase history. Hopefully this isn't fucking up my camera. The Iverson. Where's the Iverson? It sold for, I bought it for 19. So I bought it for 19. It sold for 56. The Jordan Fleer Ultra, I paid 13, and it sold for 40, I think. Let me see. Yeah, 40. Oh, there I go again. Wonder if I can. I'm back. So I don't know if you could hear the audio, but I paid 19 for the Iverson. It sold for 56. I paid 13 for the Jordan that sold for 40. Sandberg won his Gold Gloves when they left the infield grass longer to slow the balls down. You need a Wi-Fi egg or something. That is a cool card. 8s are great. 9s are sublime. 10s are money. Money. So yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is a memory thing that's fucking up my computer because one of my screens says something about memory. So how do I get more memory? Do I have to delete stuff? Can I just buy it from the Apple store? I don't have a Mac. Do I just buy it from Amazon? How do I get more memory? Tracy, good morning. Heading out on vacation tomorrow. Excellent. Where are you going? Mark says, it's nice to know there are true collectors out there on eBay Live. Tracy says, I hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. You as well. Take Prevagen for memory. That can also be a RAM issue or a space issue. Utley is comparable to Rhino, but he got trashed. Let's look. What's Chase Utley's numbers? Actually, you know what? Let's do this. All right, compare. All right, let's look at head-to-head. Ryne Sandberg versus Chase Utley. Now, you do know that there's a little bias for me on this one. All seasons, Ryne Sandberg Chase Utley. Now, the infield grass thing is bullshit because Philadelphia could have done that for Chase Utley. All right. Overall WAR, very similar. Ryne Sandberg's career WAR was 68. Chase Utley was 64.6. Let's see. Hits. Ryne Sandberg had 2,386 hits. Chase Utley didn't even have 2,000. 1,885. Home runs, Sandberg 282, Utley 259. RBI, Sandberg 1,061, Utley 1,025. Sandberg had over twice as many stolen bases, 344 to 154. Career batting average, Sandberg was 10 points higher, 285 to 275. Utley had a better OBP, 358 to 344. Utley had a better slug, 465 to 452. Utley had a better OPS, 823 to 795. And OPS plus, Utley 117 to 114. Utley won a championship. Sandberg did not. We don't care about All-Stars, but Sandberg had 10 All-Stars. Utley had 6. Sandberg won an MVP. Utley did not. Sandberg won 9 Gold Gloves. Utley won 0. Sandberg won 7 Silver Sluggers. Utley won 4. So is Utley trash? No. He's not a Hall of Famer in my opinion, but you're right. He's a lot closer to Sandberg than I thought, comparing those two players head to head. Let's see. Where are we at? Shane says, if you're doing wrestling during Survivor Series, check out the match card. I need to do that. I don't even know who's wrestling. Next Saturday, wrestling night. We're going to watch along with Survivor Series next Saturday night. Utley got trashed because he is trash. D-bag. I agree with Max. Shane says, some unique new people who have cheap cards. Dad Dude says, Rhino took 3 years to throws your in or out argument out. 608 says, got some hockey stuff if you're free today. Yeah, I might be free today. Shoot me a text. What do you have? Max says, just text me what you have. Max says, hardly comparable after hearing those stats, to be honest. The only comp is an above average power hitting second baseman. Chase Utley. You're trash, Chase Utley. All right. That's what I had for today. I'll see a couple of you in Chicago tomorrow. Maybe I'll see 608 today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store. There's not much there, but I'll be live. I may do a pop-up show at some point today or tonight just to get a few bucks in before the weekend. And then I'll be back. The link in the description for Saturday's show, that's where I'm going to put a lot of my goods from Friday, Saturday in Chicago from my buying trip. So tune in Saturday night on eBay Live. I won't be on tomorrow morning on Hobby Evolution. We'll take tomorrow morning off. I'll be back on Sunday morning for Hobby Evolution, and I'll review the Spectacular. All right. Have a good one, and we'll see you on somewhere. See ya.